Valentine, Nebraska is up by the South Dakota border, and there's some wonderful things up there. This is the railroad trellis that was the old Chicago and Northwestern Railroad trestle. It's the Rails to Trails project, and it's the Cowboy Trail. It is 195 miles long, give or take. There's some controversy as to how long it actually is. It's used for biking and walking and horseback riding, and there's also a lot of wildlife. These guys were kind of following us, so I thought I'd show them to you. They are all over the place. There's all sorts of wildlife. Here's a better view of the trail itself going towards the railroad trestle, and isn't the view just spectacular? We're panning over towards where you can see the Outlaw Trail, which is the highway where we were on, showing you the railroad trestle. It's recorded that Frank and Jesse James were in the area a lot, and actually there was a rumor that Jesse James was trying to buy land over near Franklin, Nebraska. This is some better pictures of the actual bridge that they built over the railroad trestle, and marks on one of the outlooks. And in a second you'll see what it looks like from the other side. You can see the little place sticking out there, little platform, so you can take pictures and look over the side. And as you can see, it's quite the view. There's lots and lots of metal and wood that they have used to make the trestle, and they've left it fairly original. And it goes directly over the Niobrara River. The Niobrara River is named Wide River or Wide Water, and if you can see the water down here and here, it's very wide river. The Indians had several names for it, but that's the one that they've settled on, Niobrara. And again, here's the Outlaw Trail. That's the scenic byway highway, which is Highway 12. And you can see the road there. This is one of the chairs that they have along the road that you can sit down and have a rest. And we just got a kick out of this. Is if you sit down on that little bench, this is what you see. And it's an old electrical deal. They have the insulators on the top, and here's some pictures that we just snapped while we were on the trail. We just thought the scenery was just gorgeous, and the sumac was really in bloom, as you can see up above where the water is, and it reflects into the pond. Really beautiful. This sign is humongous. We just got it. It was kind of funny. And the next sign was kind of unusual. The top is made like the covers they used to have in old planters, so we just thought it was interesting. And this is actually in the Rosebud Casino parking lot, the borders between the two states. Smith Falls State Park is home to the world's, or not the world's, but Nebraska's highest waterfall, and it's named for Frederick Smith. He was the first person to homestead the area where the falls is. And this is just where the campground is, and then they have some signs along the trail. This one kind of gives some of the history of the family that has the area. This is the steps going down from the little visitor center. If you are in a wheelchair, I recommend going around down to where Mark is heading towards its parking lot. They are definitely easier to manage. This is the stone crushed pathway that they have towards the falls, and it's very accessible with a wheelchair or someone who has young children, or even with a stroller. The path is very wide and very level, so it's very easy to walk across. And this is the Verdigris Bridge, which goes over Niobrara to get you towards where the falls is. It's a very short walk. We just thought these guys were fun. They had just come from the falls, so I took their picture. And here's another one of the signs I was telling you about. They definitely maintain this very well. Oh, here's one that we thought was funny with keeping your social distance. My favorite's on the bottom. We're on the way here to Smith Falls, and as you can see, isn't it gorgeous? Just gonna let you take in. The day we were there were some people taking, I'm guessing it was engagement pictures, and they were standing barefoot in this really, really cold water. I thought it was a little uncomfortable if they were standing right where that sort of sand spot is at the bottom there. And this is a road that sort of parallels the Niobrara, coming off of the, and if you take this road you will be very familiar with these little cattle guards. Those actually were nice. Some of the ones we went over weren't quite so nice. And here's some more of the wildlife we were telling you about. This road was gorgeous, and here's some more of the sumac. The colors were just beautiful. This road is part of a cattle ranch. They have an expression there, public water, private land. So some of the places you're not allowed to get out of your car, and several cattle were along this road, and I think in a few minutes. Yeah. Well, this is part of the road that I just wanted to let you see what you're getting yourself into. It's not for the faint of heart or the low of ride. Here's some of the cattle I was telling you about. They were completely unimpressed with us. Later down the road, we actually came into the road, and there was some guys laying on the road. They weren't too excited to leave, but we got them to get up and so we could go. But again, here's some more pictures of the Niobrara. We followed it all the way along this road, and it was a good 45 miles that we took. It's just gorgeous. Here is Fort Falls, and that is another waterfall, but unfortunately, guys, this is one that if you have any kind of mobility issues, it's not something you'll be able to do. The steps, and you'll see them in a minute, are very, very straight down, and of all the leaves, they're kind of slippery, so you definitely need to be very ambulatory. And I don't know if your kids would be very good on this path either, but it is very beautiful. It's less than a mile, so it's not really arduous. It's just straight down because it goes to the valley floor. And then at the end of this pathway, you walk right into where there's a little pathway that goes either on to do another 4 miles of a trail or to the river. And here's the part of the trail that goes on, and it's just above this little place where we're standing here. And I was just going to show you really how slow moving and wide the Niobrara is. You can see why it's such a popular place for kayakers. It's very well, you don't have to be an expert, and there are some rapids, but nothing like what you would get other places. And they do have a deal where they let you go down in stock tanks, and that's what cattle and stuff drink out of, so it's got a flat bottom and it's pretty precise, and that's one of the draws for this area. But if you just thought, this is such a gorgeous area, it is definitely worth coming and taking a look. And here's some of the kayaks I was telling you about that we ran into just as we were coming back, and I just thought, why don't we let you see some of the pictures we took. It's well worth going to this area. There is so much to see, and we barely covered it. So, Valentine, Nebraska. Enjoy.